When you are under orders to remain isolated, keep distant from other people, stay quarantined if you feel sick, you may have been cast on The Walking Dead. But more likely, it's just a random Tuesday. And now you get to experience San Diego Comic-Con at home with Loop and Larry, Guardians of Geek.
In a world filled with intergalactic space battles, metahuman destruction on a global scale, and psychopathic serial hauntings, there's only one team who can make sense of it all. When your world is overrun with rampant pop culture, call Loop and Larry, Guardians of Geek.
And there we go, Loop and Larry, Guardians of Geek. I'm Loop.
And I'm Larry.
I feel like
on location.
That's right. I feel like I'm like a newscaster. Let's go to Larry live wherever he is. I don't know where that is. Are you camping?
It's my vacation week, so I'm up at the cottage this week. So we thought, that's not going to stop us from doing geeky things.
I feel like if you isolated yourself, like you're up in the woods somewhere in the middle of nowhere.
I know. I kind of am, which is fine. That's cool. Just the way I like it.
That's the way you like it, just all by yourself, alone in the woods. That's the way Larry likes it. A couple things off the top. This is our season finale, end of season 2. Because we like to end our seasons in the summer for whatever reason.
That's what all good broadcasts do. They take hiatus in the summer.
That's right. We're just taking a little hiatus. Actually, and really the hiatus is only for like a month, and then we're back again. So it's not a huge hiatus, but we'll be back for a season 3 in September. Also, we've had 1,000 downloads.
We have hit the magical 1,000 download mark.
Yes.
I'm waiting for applause. Is there applause coming?
I'll put some applause below there. It's just
yeah, perfect. Yeah, finally hit the 1,000 mark. So I feel like we're official now.
Yeah.
Before that, you never know. But
thanks to everyone who's downloaded the podcast. We really appreciate it. There's a lot of people starting to watch us on YouTube now.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, we're sort of expanding into the video world, which is kind of nice. But it's been fantastic, and we love hearing from people, and we get texts every once in a while from people saying, that was a great show, and their comments on it. Please keep doing that, because that keeps us going and gives us ideas for new shows and things that we should talk about, and it just makes it that much more fun. Yeah,
it's awesome. So I'm glad that we're been doing it, and we're done. This is the season finale. Who knows what will happen during the season finale? We never know.
I don't know. There's no way of knowing.
So far, you're in the middle of nowhere. That's all we know.
Exactly.
Will Larry come back? We don't know. This is one of those things.
It's really hard to say.
So this episode, we're going to focus solely on the San Diego Comic-Con. We did this last year in our season ender. We're going to do it again this year. And this year it was virtual. But before we get into that, you've got some hot breaking news.
Breaking news. So we're recording this today on Tuesday, July 28th. And just this morning, the Emmy nominations were announced. So even though there's no, I can't imagine there's going to be a live broadcast, but the nominations were out there. So I thought, hey, I've got some time. I'll go through the nominations. I like to see who's nominated. I watch TV. I like to know who's doing what, So I was looking through Emmy.com. So it was the official website.
Yeah.
That I was looking through. And first of all, there are 61 pages of nominations. 61 pages of nominations. It took me like 10 hours to go through them all. It was crazy. But okay, so let me just tell you. So right off the top, there are now multiple nominations per category. So, for example, production design, there are 5 categories for production design. So there's like comedy, drama, reality show, limited show, variety show, and each one gets its own. Maybe this is the way it's always been. I don't think so, though. We've gone through the nominations every year. It's never been like this. Now one of the categories is outstanding commercial. So there are TV commercials.
Oh, wow.
That are on there. Costumes. You know how there's sometimes, there's costumes. Yeah. This year, there's one category called period costumes, and then you get like the crown and that sort of thing. There's another category called sci-fi fantasy costumes, and so there's 2 costume categories. There are 7 directing categories, so it's not just like best director. There are 7 different categories. So again, it's like comedy, drama, reality, limited show, 7 different ones. There are 3 categories for hairstyling. 3 different categories. It's weird. Okay, and then there's a category that I've never heard of. 2 of them that I've never heard of.
Yeah.
One of them is called Outstanding Derivative Interactive Program.
What? What is that?
So the only 2 programs that are nominated in that are Big Mouth from Netflix, the animated show, and a Doctor Who episode. There was no explanation as to what these categories mean, but this is what it's called: Outstanding Derivative Interactive Program. Mm-hmm.
I feel like when there's a category, like for anything, if there's only 2 people in it, why even have the category? Like normally in something like that, you'd have to have a minimum number of people that could be nominated before it becomes a category. So
you'd think so.
You'd think. I don't know.
I don't know.
I'd feel bad if I didn't win that, and I'm like, it's only one of 50-50 shot.
Well, yeah, exactly. You got pretty good odds so that you're going to get in there. And then one of the other new ones that I've never heard of is Outstanding Interactive Extension of a Linear Program.
Are they making these up? What does that mean?
No, they are literally on the website. It'd be like if there's like a VR episode, like a spin-off of something. You know, like for example, Kimmy Schmidt. I don't know if you know the Kimmy Schmidt show had that one interactive episode.
Oh, right. I haven't watched that one yet. I'm still like
neither have I.
The series, yeah.
But it would be like that. So it would be like those sorts of standalone.
So it'll be that and Black Mirror
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what a weird category title. Outstanding Interactive Extension of a Linear Program. Wow. So anyway, those are the new categories. But here's an exciting one. Outstanding Drama Series. That's still standing. Mandalorian nominated.
Oh, cool. Yep.
That's pretty awesome. I think that's and Stranger Things. And I had to mention Stranger Things because we always talk about Stranger Things.
It feels
but
like
Mandalorian.
It feels like that Stranger Things episode came out like 4 years ago. I have no sense of time anymore. I don't know when anything happened or what's going on.
I have no idea, but it's been nominated.
That's good for that.
It happened this year. Yeah, but Mandalorian, I was very excited about that one. And this is the most exciting one. Outstanding Children's Program.
Yeah.
Of the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance.
Did that come out like 3 years ago? When did that come out?
I don't know, but I feel like I should probably watch it because obviously it's the best program in children's programming.
I don't even know if I put that under children's programming, to be honest. It was kind of dark.
Well, that's what I thought. Like there was like in episode 1, there was like a kind of a violent like killing that happened. That was not children friendly. And I know that because I've only watched the first episode.
I feel like going back to costumes, I feel like they had to separate like the period piece costumes and that because probably the designers always complain that if you do a period piece, you automatically are basically guaranteed to win. It's probably something like that.
Yeah. I'm guessing there had to have been. I don't know where, like, I guess I haven't been following the updates on the Emmy Awards and how they've been working. But when I opened it up, I'm like, what? 61 pages? This is ridiculous. So I don't know what they're doing as far as a broadcast or how they're going to, I feel like a lot of these are going to be like, awards presented earlier in the evening.
And I feel like the Emmys have a special like awards for like a technical awards.
Yeah.
Like prior to, and then we only see the ones with all the stars that are nominated essentially, right? So
that's what I'm guessing. But this is the first time I've ever seen them all listed, like all the categories. So I mean, maybe they've always been there. Please, if you've heard of this, let us know if you know of these categories. I've just never heard of some of these ones.
Yeah, I'm curious to go through and see. There's a couple of people I thought should be nominated, but it'll be interesting to see if they were or not. So I'll have to go through later.
Yeah. So it's out there, but just be ready. Put about 10 hours aside to go through this list.
Put it all in a pie chart for me, and I'll take a look later.
Yeah. All right, so that's our exciting like up to the minute news right there.
Oh, look at that! Just breaking news right off the top. That's right, Lawrence Simner somewhere in the woods.
I'm on location where the Emmys have been just nominated out here in the boonies.
All right, well, you want to dig right into the San Diego Comic-Con?
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
What's hot? We'll tell you what's hot. It's the Loop and Larry Pop 5.
Okay, well, this is actually our pop 10. Normally we do 5 pieces of news, but this is all San Diego Comic-Con, so we're going to do 10 things this time. Sort of like some of the highlights that we thought that were that kind of stood out. In general, so what happened this year was they weren't able to obviously do the San Diego Comic-Con as they normally do, so they did a virtual version of it. And Larry, what did you think of the virtual version generally?
I mean, I thought it was good. Excuse me. I kind of jumped into a couple of panels. There were like 350 panels this year, so it was a crazy amount of panels. You could have been online like 24 hours a day almost. But so they were interesting, but it was kind of strange because they weren't interactive and there was no audience. So like, you know, it's different. Like when we've gone to Comic-Cons and those sorts of things, when you go to panels, kind of the fun thing is that the people on stage, like the celebrities or whatever, take questions, they interact with the audience. So it makes it just like a different experience. Because, I mean, we can all watch interviews with celebrities online. Like there's millions of them. So it didn't quite have the same like excitement level. But it was cool. Like if you wanted to find out what the Goldbergs TV show is up to, you had the opportunity, whereas you wouldn't normally because like only so many people can get tickets. So, I mean, it was really cool that they made these panels available. So that was kind of neat. But I mean, and then of course the other issue is that because of COVID and because of all of these things, there wasn't the like massive volume of brand new surprises that there usually is.
They didn't have like Marvel wasn't. I mean, there was a few Marvel related panels, but like Marvel didn't come out and do their usual like, you know, like massive like all the big stars from like a movie weren't there. Like, but they did have like they had like decent stars from like the movies and stuff that they did do, or that they did have in a lot of the panels. But the and they had like their panels too. Like I looked at one, it was like building a geek brand, surviving the pandemic. It's like these like, you know, these like kind of like these panels that you would just go to, like if you're interested in like writing for comics, like 101, like those kind of things. And then they had like the ones for like some of the bigger shows and some shows that they're debuting soon in that. So I mean, there was an audience there, but I think the biggest fail was that they weren't live for some of them. Some of them could have been easily like just informational panels. Yeah, but the ones like with any sort of stars, I'd say like let's give an example like the Star Trek one. Like no one could ask questions as it was going, so the moderator couldn't say, "Okay, we got a question here from," unless they did some like pre-questions before. But someone may have wanted to say something off of what someone else had already said, so they could have like, you know, done that, or had maybe brought somebody in using Zoom like in a waiting room and brought them in and asked a question, which would have been really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's possible to do that because Wizard I can't remember, it's not Wizard World. The Comic-Con company, Wizard Con. What are they called? Wizard Con?
I think that's just called.
I can't remember. But we'll call it that. Has been doing live panels for the last couple of months via Facebook. Yeah. And so I'll get notifications that there's like the cast of Harry Potter is going to be doing a live interactive thing, and they're all free, and you like log on to Facebook when this thing is happening and you could totally interact. So you can ask questions and they'll talk to you. They see your questions. The moderator looks at the questions and asks them, and it's totally live and interactive, and it's actually pretty cool.
Oh, that's cool.
If there's a panel, so they could have done that. I'm not too sure. I don't know if it was a timing issue, like just getting the celebrities when they could. I don't know.
Yeah, and it might have been a bit of a logistical nightmare too, because they would have had to run. I mean, but I still think they could have like done like the bulk of the panels pre-done, and then maybe some of the bigger panels picked like 10 that they could have done live with people actually interacting with the celebrities. I think that was a tiny bit of a fail, but I mean, the fact they were able to pull this off at all, I thought was like, I got to hand it to them. That was pretty cool.
Exactly. I mean, most of the cons that happen are just canceled. Like that's it. Sorry, we'll see you next year. So
I mean, it was awesome they did it. Like it was, I'm not knocking them. That would have been a really cool feature, even if they only picked like 4 panels or something, like the biggest panels, and did it with those. They didn't have to do it with every panel, because I mean, some of the panels don't need the interactive sort of like. Yeah. But they did still have like San Diego Comic-Con product releases, like San Diego Comic-Con exclusive toys and things. Like which is cool.
They had Sideshow toys were released, and Hallmark had a bunch of Mandalorian toys and ornaments and things like that were released. So you could still get those exclusive San Diego Comic-Con products during this, which was really cool too, because I mean, all these companies had these products made, so it's not like they still had them for sale. So
yeah, I was eyeing some of the pop figures. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. So, well, let's get right down to it. Let's do number one. What do you got here?
So number one was the release of the New Mutants trailer, the trailer for the New Mutants.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot of hype for this because it sort of bounced around, and it was released and it wasn't released, and it's moved all over the place. And
I think it's been moved like twice or three times now. It's supposed to come out in 2018, and it's constantly been moved because this is like the last of the sort of Fox X-Men movies, because they now basically have all moved to Marvel, but this is sort of the last one that's kind of out there that they just, I guess, for a better lack of it, I think they need to burn off basically.
Yeah. Like, and based on the trailer, it looks to me like they're burning this one off. Did you see the trailer?
I did, but I thought it kind of looked kind of cool actually, but I don't know, maybe it's because it's just some new characters I haven't seen before. I don't know.
I felt like, because what I saw wasn't an actual trailer. It was like the first 2 minutes of the movie. Is that what you watched?
No, I watched a trailer.
Oh.
There was a trailer as well, and it looked pretty. Okay. It looked kind of cool. I think an earlier version of the trailer was more focused on like the horror aspect of this, because there's a real horror element to it. But this one focused, you could tell Marvel maybe got a hold of it because it focused a lot more on the powers of them and more superhero type action. So it'll be interesting to see what this actual movie. I'm actually really pumped for this movie. I don't know why. I used to read like New Mutants and stuff, so I'm like, it's kind of cool to see what they've done with it. So
okay, so that's okay. So I didn't actually watch the trailer, but during San Diego Comic-Con at home, they released the first 2 minutes of the movie.
Yeah,
so you can actually watch the first 2 minutes. Did you see the first 2 minutes?
I was going to, but then I didn't want to like give anything away.
Okay,
it's so far away, but it's coming out August 28th, so I thought, okay,
maybe.
Yeah, well, I think they're probably locking this one in. I think because it's I think they just got to put it out there.
Okay, well, I won't spoil it for you. All I can say is, I saw the first 2 minutes.
Okay, so you weren't impressed with it off the top. All right.
No, and it's getting
the trailer looks much more impressive if you watch the trailer.
Does it? Okay. So yeah, I'll watch the trailer and see what that is. But it's interesting to see the online response to the first 2 minutes.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of we've been waiting 2 years for this.
Well, I feel bad because it's not really their fault. It's the fault of like the battles between like probably Fox and Marvel and now like, that kind of thing. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what it's like. The X-Men movies themselves, I feel like this in the X-Men universe, like they had great actors playing the characters and they look cool. I felt sometimes they didn't have anyone working on like any sort of continuity of storyline, even though they tried to jam all them all like as if they were all sort of in the same storyline. Like it just didn't make a lot of sense. There was no plan. It seemed like they just went movie to movie. But
it kind of does. So yeah. So
and I'm not sure how this one was to fit in with all the rest. Like I'm not sure, because they're really mutants in training. So it would be interesting to see if any of the other X-Men were actually in this or not. So
yeah, I'm really curious. I'm really curious to see how it goes. Like this is one I'm intrigued by because there's been so much hype and so much talk, and we'll have to see how this one goes.
We'll see. All right. What's number two?
Number two. Obviously with the whole pandemic and everything, movies are being bounced around in their time slots and whatever. So Disney officially has rescheduled their lineups. So they specifically rescheduled their Star Wars, their next trilogy of Star Wars, by bumping everything back by a year for the Star Wars trilogy. They've also bumped back Avatar. So as you know, there are multiple Avatar movies coming out. Which I know you're super excited about.
We were just talking about Sam Worthington the other day. Now he's like, I'd rather watch a log act than Sam Worthington. It's like, that guy there's something about him. It just doesn't like capture your attention for some reason. So
it's true. I don't know if he's in these new ones. I haven't actually heard if he is.
I remember when I saw the first Avatar, I was like, I thought the special effects looked amazing because it was kind of the first of its kind. But I remember just walking out going like, I don't even know what, like the story was so dumb. Like I just wasn't a fan of the whole look of it or anything like.
Yeah, well, it's going to be, they've got a lot more time to work on it now. So there are 4 new Avatar movies coming out. So there will be 5 in total. So the first one comes out now in 2022. It was supposed to come out next year.
Yeah.
So it's coming out in 2022. Next one is 2024, then 26, then 28. So it's every 2 years. So for the next 8 years, you're going to be all about the Avatars.
I will not be about the Avatar. I don't know why they even needed to make these. Like, that was such a long time ago. Like, they should have jumped on it, like, when it was actually hot. Now
I know.
So
All I can hope is he's had a lot of time, and now he has a whole extra year to work on these things, James Cameron. Yeah. So they better be, like, the most technically advanced super movie we've ever seen. That's all I can say about that.
We'll see. We will see.
That's all you can say about that.
I don't know. I can do without it.
Yeah.
So,
well,
number 3.
Number 3.
I'm just jumping out of this Avatar.
I know.
I'm pulling the chute on it. I'm out.
All right, we'll jump back into your realm here. Disney is teasing the new Marvel 616 docuseries.
Okay.
That's gonna be on Disney Plus. First of all, I didn't realize this was a docuseries. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I thought it was like an actual like show, but it's not. It's a multi-part series that's a documentary. So each episode is like a documentary about one of them's about one of the artists who draws for Marvel Comics and that sort of thing. So it's more like I don't know if you've watched what they did with The Mandalorian. And they made the the follow-up TV show. It's like 8 parts, and each one is a behind the scenes of the directing, the special effects. So that's sort of what they're doing with Marvel. Excuse me, and they're making like a multi-part series that takes you behind the scenes of Marvel. So it could be the movies, it could be whatever it is, but it's a documentary. So it's kind of cool, actually.
Oh, that'd be kind of neat. Sometimes I like to see when they open the curtain, right? And you can take a peek behind it and see what goes on to make some of these shows and comics and characters and all that. So that should be pretty cool. Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of neat. It was an interesting reveal that's what it is. It's not an actual TV show, but it's something that's coming.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. And now something that's not coming, number 4, they've revealed that Falcon and Winter Soldier will not be debuting on Disney Plus in August, because that's when it was supposed to be there.
Yeah, a lot of their stuff's pushed back, as like Eternals and the Black Widow and all that have all been pushed back. So this does not surprise me. This was pushed back as well.
Well, here's where I'm a little bit surprised, because I thought that they had been working on this Falcon and Winter Soldier since like before Disney Plus was launched. So I figured that they like kind of at the same time that they were making Mandalorian. So I thought they were going to launch Mandalorian, play that out, and then go right into Falcon and Winter Soldier and start that all up. So I assumed that they had it done. And the reason it surprised me that they don't is because Mandalorian season 2 is still launching in October. Which means that they had season 1 finished before Disney Plus started, and they've also finished season 2 before October. So I don't know where they are in their production with Falcon and Winter Soldier, or if they're just delaying the whole Marvel thing until they can start releasing Marvel movies again. Yeah,
I'm wondering because like the way they release the Marvel, like they kind of release the shows and the movies sort of in that. Remember there was all that like timeline. I'm wondering if maybe it like. You have to see Black Widow, for instance, before you see this. Like maybe there's some sort of connection. Like because I feel like that's where they're going to get their hands tied between the TV versions and the movies if they have to release them in a certain order. Which I feel like that's maybe why they're doing this. So
I think you're right. Like it's got to be done. Like the series, at least season 1, has to be finished by now. Yeah. You know, I mean they've had a long time they've been working on it. So I think you're probably right. I think until they start releasing the actual theatrical movies, maybe that's why they're bumping it again. It just seems weird because I know that like a lot of people were super excited about getting Disney Plus because of Mandalorian and their Star Wars content, but also because of all the Marvel content like WandaVision and this and the Loki TV show and all of those things. And
we've seen none of them. We've literally seen none of the Marvel stuff. Like, and they announced like 4 or 5 shows plus more shows coming, like Moon Knight and all sorts of stuff. But we've seen none of it so far.
No, and it's coming up on 1 year, like the first year anniversary of Disney Plus. Yeah. So it's been out there for almost a year already, and we haven't seen any Marvel content, not like this. No. So I feel like I think maybe that's the problem. But anyway, I thought that was interesting that it's been delayed again. So
yeah, I feel like it has to do with the time. It's a timeline issue, and I feel like that's because isn't Black Widow out like next month?
It's supposed to be, maybe.
I feel like they're gonna have to push it through because eventually they can't just sit on these movies forever. They gotta like start release, whether it goes directly to Disney Plus or I feel like there's money to be made in that at home, like the video on demand or whatever it's called. Like because you would pay like as much as you would for a regular movie on there. Like if they charge like I'd pay $30 or $20 to see that for sure. Like, yeah,
absolutely. I think you're right. But what I've heard actually, because they're talking about Tenet, because Tenet was supposed to be Christopher Nolan's movie.
Yeah, which is good.
Bumped, but it was supposed to be like the comeback, like bringing back movies to the theaters and that sort of thing. So what I just read a day or two ago is that they might start a model where they release movies to certain areas, like safe areas. So movies might be released in sections of Europe, like now, and then they'll come to a few theaters in the States, and then they'll come to a few theaters in Canada, like a total staggered rollout, as opposed to like, May 24th, everything, everybody gets this movie. So it might be that that's what they do, that's what they're starting to do is just look at areas that are safe and can reopen and just launch movies there. And then when new areas open up, they'll launch them there, as opposed to just holding off and waiting till everybody can see it all at once, because it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, so, I don't know. I think I think video on demand's the way to go right now. Like, if we can't get into theaters, then that's the next. I mean, I don't know if in the States are the theaters open or are they not open in the States? Okay,
I don't think so. I think AMC Theater just announced recently that they postponed their opening until at least the middle or end of August now. So I don't think that they're open.
Because in Canada, for those listening that aren't in Canada, we can open here, but they're not opening right now. Like there's just too many things that they're not sure of, and like there's no movies out to release. So
and there's that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you're right. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how it goes. But so going back to TV, number 5 on the list, The Batman.
Wow.
TV spinoff is happening on HBO Max.
Oh, so not the movie. This is a TV spinoff.
This is the TV. So the Batman's the one that stars Robert Pattinson.
Yeah.
That movie is going to get a TV spinoff that'll take place in the same universe, but it's HBO Max, which means that it's going to be dark. It's going to be gritty. Like it's not going to be like a CW show. Like it's going to be gritty. And it's the writer and executive producer is Terrence Winter.
Yep.
Who is the showrunner for Boardwalk Empire and The Sopranos.
Yeah.
Like this is the guy who's going to be creating this. And
it's
right now I think it's going to be great. And right now they're referring to it as a police drama.
Okay. So it has something to do with Gotham, do you think?
I'm guessing. Yeah. So I don't know if it's more just dealing with Gotham and the crime there and like what it's like, and then you'll have Batman coming in and doing things. I'm not sure how this is going to work, but I'm really excited about this one. I think because they just did Gotham, like the TV show, the CW show, and I enjoyed it. Like I watched the whole thing. It had a bit of a lag for a couple of seasons, but it ended up being okay. And it was pretty dark and gritty too. But if you put a show like that on HBO Max, whew,
well, anything goes at that point. And Batman's always had sort of a dark tone to it, so it should be interesting to see what they do with it.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about that one. And Batman is my thing. So
that is your thing. That is your thing.
I like the Batman. So that's pretty exciting. I don't know that there's a date yet for it, but keep an eye out. It is coming.
Excellent.
And then, so sticking with TV, you got your Walking Dead finale.
Oh, finally. So the Walking Dead ended with no finale because of COVID, they couldn't finish it. They had a lot of stuff shot, but they weren't able to finish the last finishing touches. It's finally coming out. I believe it's October 4th. But the weird thing is, they say
that's the last episode, like just one episode.
Yeah, kind of, because they're going to do the last, which was supposed to be the finale, but then they've decided to add 6 more episodes to the season. So now in January, there's going to be 6 more. Or February, there's going to be 6 more episodes that are going to air of this season. But then there's the next season, which I believe is 11, will probably not be on until the next year, like October of 2021 or 2022.
So this is season 10, right?
Yes.
Okay, so in October they're going to run the last series season finale,
which was supposed to have already aired. Yep.
Right, and then they're gonna do like season 10.5.
Yeah, and they're gonna add. They're tacking
like
on an extra 6 episodes.
Interesting.
So other than those 6 episodes next year, there will be no other Walking Dead of that series until the following year, and that's when it'll pick up again.
Right.
So yeah,
right.
it's kind of odd. The other thing they've added in the extra, because there's the Fear of Walking Dead that's still going to debut this fall.
Right.
And then the other one, which was the World Beyond, which was a much younger cast, has been delayed. So that's been delayed again to probably next year. And then it'll start up. So there'll still be Walking Dead for the fans of Walking Dead. It just won't. The regular Walking Dead will be all sort of staggered out. But at least I'll be able to find out what happened at least in that finale, and then and then they'll go from there.
That's the most frustrating thing, to have like a whole season and then the final episode is like 5 months later. Like that would be so.
Don't get me started on Empire. Did you ever watch Empire?
No.
They didn't finish the season because of COVID, so they took some of the stuff they shot from the final and some of the stuff they shot from the one before and kind of just melded them together and made a finale out of it. But they didn't even have the finale wasn't even partly shot. So they made a finale out of those 2 episodes of kind of what they shot from both. Okay. It didn't make any sense. Like there was really no, even the cast is like, we wanted a finale and we never got it. Like, but that's just the way it's going to end. And it was kind of weird. So anyway.
I guess, I mean, then you got to, give hats off to the Walking Dead showrunners for at least saying, you know what, we're not gonna give like a bad quality. We're not gonna, compromise our quality by just throwing out a finale for you. Like, sorry, you have to wait for 5 months, but we want to give you a good show.
And the nice thing is that suddenly I've got new content to watch, right, from them. So it's like, because what else have I been doing? So just like, I'm not like on the edge of my seat. Like, so I'm like, now it's like kind of a nice surprise to be able to watch it in a few months. So it should be pretty cool. So there you go.
Fair enough. All right. So let's move with number 7 back to the theaters whenever we can and talk about the brand new trailer for Bill and Ted Face the Music.
What did you think of the trailer?
I thought, you know what? I think it's kind of cool. I think it totally had I really like Bill and Ted. I like the first 2 movies. I think they're great. I think this totally has the same vibe. Like, I think that they kind of captured that whole original feeling of it. I mean, I found it a little weird to see Keanu Reeves, who's like in his mid 50s now, kind of looking, but Winters, Bill.
Bill. Yeah, Bill.
Not Bill Winters.
No,
but the other guy.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Still looks young. Like he still looks like the original character, and he sounds like him. So I kind of bought it. Like I kind of, they have kids now. Like they're married and they have kids, and so
some interesting things were sort of revealed in this trailer. And Keanu Reeves' daughter like acts like him, and she actually does a pretty good imitation of him. If that's from what just a little pieces I saw, if that's what they're trying to do, I was like, oh man, she actually sounds like him a little bit. Like it's kind of funny.
Yeah, she totally does. Which makes me wonder whether they're going to continue this on with the 2 daughters.
Yeah, because they each have daughters. Spin it off. Like
I wonder.
But it looks pretty cool. At least they're not like little kids. That would have kind of bugged if they were like children. Like it made a lot more sense. So it should be pretty cool. It
totally does. And it's more in line with Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. Like it's closer to sort of that one, but it's the same sort of like they have to go back in time. They collect these historical figures to make a band, which is totally makes sense. Like we'll see how Wild Stallions sort of saves the world.
The thing with my take on Bill and Ted was it was never overly hilarious, but it was really super fun. Yes. You know what I mean? Like it was a fun movie to watch, like, and it was good. And it looks like it's in the same sort of vein as that. Like it looks pretty good. And it looks like it's going to be released September 1st. And it's also going to be on video on demand as well.
Oh, perfect. So that one we can actually watch in September. Yep. Okay. And I will do that. Like that's when I would pay the $20 to watch that one. I was really excited when I finished the trailer. I was like, this is cool. It made me want to go back and rewatch the
I have the first 2. I'm gonna rewatch them like prior to it coming out because I really want to like get like caught back up again because I remember like the second one I didn't watch quite as much as the first one, obviously.
No, but it wasn't quite as good the second one. I still enjoyed it, but it didn't quite have the same thing as excitement. But I think they're great. So I'm pretty excited about that. I'm pretty excited about that. Moving on, another trailer, the Hellstrom trailer. Marvel's Hellstrom, adapting their comic book series. What do you think about that?
Well, again, it's Marvel and Hulu, and this was like remember when they announced this big Hulu thing, and they're going to do all these shows? I think a lot of that's kind of not really happening. I don't know. Like it was supposed to be part of Marvel Television, but then the other Marvel bought them, or kind of Marvel Studios sort of ate them up. So I think Marvel Studios is obviously like focusing on their Marvel stuff that's going to be on Disney Plus, not as much all their other stuff. So I don't know where this is all going to go. There's supposed to be like a Ghost Rider series and a whole bunch of others, like a much more darker sort of like bunch of shows. So I don't think any of that's happening now. So I don't know where that stands. Anyways, this character is David Hellstrom, and he's in the comics. He's the son of, I believe he's the son of Satan in the comics, but in this he's not. He's a son of a serial killer, him and his sister. So it looks kind of cool. Yeah, I don't know.
That's much better.
So anyways, so in this they're basically just hunting down people and things. So it looks kind of cool. It could be kind of a cool series.
This is one I don't know this character at all. Like I know nothing about it. So I'm going into this completely fresh. So when I watched the trailer, I was like, wow, this is really dark. Like for a Marvel series, this is seems really dark. And because it's Hulu, again, they can sort of push the envelope a little bit. So I think Hulu we get in Canada on Crave.
Okay.
Like I think
we get some of those on there. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's where we'll see it. But
I'll definitely check it out. If in the comics he works a lot with Doctor Strange. Like that's sort of the he's sort of in that comic a fair amount, but it'll be interesting to see what they do with it. I don't know. Like my only worry on these type of shows is now that I know, I don't know how much interest Marvel has in this whole deal now with Hulu. Like, so now I feel like, I don't know, unless it shows like a massive hit, like you almost don't want to put the time into it and find out it's just going to be canceled after a season, but maybe it's only built to be a season. I don't know how it's going to be, but I'll check it out for sure.
But it's interesting that you say that this character works a lot with Doctor Strange, because the new Doctor Strange movie, wherever that stands right now, was supposed to be much darker. Like it was originally supposed to almost be like a horror movie.
Oh, that's right too. Yeah.
I wonder if this Hellstrom is going to lead into the new Doctor Strange, and maybe the two of them will connect somehow. If that's what they're like, if they're going much darker with Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel though at the same time like this character, like I don't think any of these really have any connection to the regular Marvel, kind of like a Shield does. Like I mean, the Shield doesn't really have. It did at one point, but then after a while, they just sort of like it's in a different timeline or something. So it's not even part of the Marvel universe really much anymore as it used to be. But who knows? We'll see. It looks interesting.
It'll be interesting to see. Yeah,
October 16th on that one.
October. Okay, well, there's something, and because it's TV, we'll actually hopefully get to watch it.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, you got some Star Trek news.
Oh yeah, there's lots going on. Star Trek Discovery returning for its third season. Picard is returning for season 2. They got a couple new things. They got a new it's a cartoon called Star Trek Prodigy. It's a animated series. It's the first Star Trek series really aimed at kids. So that one should be kind of cool. They say that, and then I'm like, wasn't there a Star Trek cartoon when we were kids?
There was, but it actually starred William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy. Like they played themselves. So those original ones were more like actual episodes of the original Star Trek, just animated. So
it wasn't a brand new series or anything.
It was, but I mean, so it was directed to kids, but it wasn't like cute. Like it was more, action adventure type stuff. This one looks more like it's more like cute.
Yeah, it's they basically a bunch of teens steal a Starfleet ship and then they get into all sorts of adventures. Strange New Worlds is the other new series that's coming out. It's based on a younger Kirk and Spock, and that's a spin-off of Discovery as well. So that should be kind of cool. And then finally, there's Star Trek Lower Decks, which is another animated series, which I can't tell from reading about it whether I think it's more like adult.
I think cartoon and less. And I think it's a comedy too, isn't it?
Yeah, it follows one of the least important ships in the fleet.
You hooked me. I'm in.
That sounds kind of funny, but we'll see.
That's the one that I'm actually sort of most interested in. I just like how they're going to take a franchise like Star Trek and make it edgy and
Yeah.
and funny.
Have you watched any Discovery? I watched the first season. I still want to finish the second season, but it's really good.
I haven't finished the first season. I'm almost done it. I think I was like 8 episodes in. I really quite liked it. I thought it was really good. I also did you watch any Picard?
No, my wife did. I didn't watch it at all.
It's really good.
I could hear it playing, but I didn't watch it.
Yeah, Picard was great. I thought that was I was really, and I'm not a big Star Trek fan. I mean, I like Star Trek. I really like the original 1960s show, but I didn't really watch a lot of the other shows. I've seen all of the movies, but Picard really sort of intrigued me, and I was hooked. I thought it was great. So I'm excited it's coming back.
Yeah, it's cool that's coming back. All right, number 10.
Yeah. Speaking of things that are coming back, you've got more news about The Boys.
Yeah, did you watch The Boys at all?
I did not watch The Boys.
So it's superhero. It's a sort of a superhero base, but it's really dark. Like it's kind of like you see them as they're presented to the world, but then you see what's behind the scenes. And there's a bunch of people trying to take down this sort of group of 7, which is like a equivalent to like the Justice League.
Yes.
But they've got some dark past, these guys, and they're not very nice, most of them. So anyways, they debuted just a clip of season 2, and it's based on a graphic novel, and it's pretty dark, like on another comic, The Boys, obviously. Excellent. And it's a really dark comic too, almost worse than the show is. But this was a pretty funny clip where they're in a high speed chase with a guy called the Deep, who's like the Aquaman of the group of 7. He's on a whale, and so he moves the whale in front of the boat, and instead of like them like stopping, they just drive right through the whale and just explode the whale. Oh my god, I couldn't stop laughing. It's so.
I think PETA's going to be all over that.
It's so shocking. Like I'm just like they just drive right into it.
What? All right, now I'm in. I'm in.
It's very dark show. If you've never seen, it's like it's fun. It's dark. It's kind of like twisted. It's just very weird, but it's a great show. Yeah. It's very well done.
Awesome.
So, and shot mostly, I think, in Toronto as well, which is really cool.
Awesome. That's always exciting.
Also renewed for season 3 already. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
they have a lot of faith in this show.
Yeah, it's very cool. It's a very cool show. So
awesome. Excellent.
That 10?
Well, there you go. That's 10. Those are our top 10. San Diego. See, that's what I mean. Like this, there's some really good stuff coming, but there aren't like the big, massive, like huge stories that usually come out of San Diego ComicCon.
Was there anything that you would have liked to have seen but didn't see?
Well, I mean, I think usually at this point, if there's going to be like new Star Wars content, they would have shown like a new trailer, or, I mean, it would have been cool to see a Mandalorian trailer for season 2. That would have been pretty cool, or anything with the new movies, or speaking of which, and not that this was San Diego Comic-Con, but we didn't talk about Taika Waititi. Yeah. Has officially announced that he has started writing his Star Wars movie. He will be directing a Star Wars movie, and he's starting to write it. So I just wanted to bring that up because that's pretty awesome. But yeah, so I mean, it's those sorts of things that I was kind of really that I missed this year, was the big trailers, like the big Marvel movie trailers, or I mean, it would have been cool to see trailers for any of the Disney Plus shows, even just a trailer for Loki or Winter Soldier. Like even if they had a trailer for Falcon and Winter Soldier, that would have been cool. Yeah, that would have been pretty cool. The only thing there might have been something, but I may have missed it, but there was nothing for Ghostbusters. Like I didn't see anything about that. Yeah. I don't know like they released that one trailer a few, well, I mean, like in January or February, and we haven't really heard anything since. So I mean, I'm guessing it's it's been delayed like everything else has. Yeah. But yeah, there was nothing. I didn't see anything at all about Ghostbusters either. So yeah, that's just surprised me that there was nothing like some sort of like new trailer or something that was released, but not this year. No, not this year. No, but the list is still good. No, it's got some good stuff in there, and I think it's hopefully the Comic-Cons will return, because we're supposed to be going to one in now it's been moved to Fan Expo's been moved to November now. Well, so we were supposed to go to the Niagara Falls Comic-Con, which is in June, but in June they decided to postpone it till September. And they said, yep, we're holding it in September. It's their 10th anniversary. They're holding it in September. And just like 2 days ago, they sent out a notice that said, yeah, no, sorry. Canceled. So They canceled the September, so it'll be back in June of next year. So I'm just waiting for Fan Expo to do the same thing and just actually cancel it this year. I can't foresee any of the Comic-Cons opening this year. It's just too many people go. They're like, the crowds are so tight. Like, I just don't see any way that they can.
Well, they can't even like the rules in Canada, at least, like they can't, like, it's like 50 indoors or something weird.
Yeah.
Like I don't think they would be able to hold it anyways because there'd be too many people. Like,
yeah,
if they can't do a sporting event, they shouldn't be able to do this.
Exactly. And I mean, yeah, unless they had it outside in an airfield. Yeah, you might be able to put some people out there, but yeah, I just don't foresee it happening this year. So we should be happy that we're getting what we're getting, because they could have shut down everything and said, we'll just wait a year. So the stuff that they did release, I think, is still good stuff. It still makes us excited about the future of pop culture, and there's lots of good stuff to look forward to.
There's still tons of stuff. So so that's it. That's our last episode of this season. We'll be returning in September and probably early September, and we'll be all good. And enjoy yourself out wherever you are. In that, you know how much I love going camping. So.
I know. This is seeing me on the outdoors is as close as he's going to get to being outdoors this summer.
That's enough for me. That's all I need. I don't want any like murder hornets after me or anything. I'm done with it all. I'll just stay in my cave.
I've had to brush away a couple of murder hornets while we've been sitting here. So
probably that's what I assumed. Yeah. So anyways, thanks for listening. This has been Loop and Larry, Guardians of Geek, and we'll see you in season 3.
See you in September.
Produced by Matthew C. Loop and Lawrence Simner. A Loop and Larry production.
Bueller.
He likes it. Hey, Mikey.
Bueller.
Bad news. Fog is getting thicker.
And Leon's getting larger.
Inconceivable. Brian's right. It's an elf.
Wax on.
Does Barry Manilow know that you raid his wardrobe?
Oh, Captain, my captain.
Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
Wax off.